So if we think about brownies, we think about, tell me some taste that you think about when you eat brownies.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, what else?
Nuts.
If you put nuts in it. I guess ninth graders are still like we're not putting nuts in it. Anything else you think about? Chocolate. Sugar. Some taste when you're eating brownies. What do you think about it? You said sugar, you all said chocolate. If you add anything into it, like peanut butter or nuts, that would be in it also. Of course, we're not doing that because it's with so many people that may have different allergies, all right? If you ever look at when you're making brownies, they have the ingredients on the back. And you need, for this box, even though it might be different amounts, all branded recipes are about the same when you get a box like this. Water, vegetable oil, and eggs, all right? I like my brownies more cake-like, so I increase the eggs from 2 to 3. You put 3 eggs in it, it makes it more of a cake-like brownie, all right? So what we're going to do to, eliminate some cholesterol and eliminate some of the bad fat, we're going to use some substitutes, okay? First, you need 3 tablespoons of water, so that's going to be the same. We're not changing anything about that. There's 1, 2, and 3. You see I measure. I use a real tablespoon. All right? Now, we need a ½ cup of vegetable oil. So in place of the vegetable oil, I'm using applesauce. All right? We'll talk more about that while I'm using these items in a minute. Just notice what I'm using. Alright, we got a ½ cup of applesauce. So I use the same amount of oil that's needed, but I use the same amount of applesauce. So I didn't change the amount, I just changed the ice. That makes sense what I said?
Yeah.
Great. So we got a ½ cup of applesauce. Now, in place of eggs, I'm using an egg substitute. Alright? So this egg substitute, it tells you on here it's made from real egg whites. So you know you're eating an egg product. And then it also tells you fat-free and cholesterol-free. Alright? Usually you shake this up and you use it. I need 3 eggs. They tell you on here how many eggs or how much liquid you need to equal the amount of eggs. So it says 1/4 cup equals 1 egg. So if I need 3, how much egg ingredient do I need? 3/4. When you measure, leave it down. That way you're able to see it better. When you're holding it, it might not be as level.
It looks like real egg stuff.
It's blended. It does. How do you make it to liquid?
How you doing it?
How you make it to liquid? You blend it or you?
I have no idea how that is. I don't know the process. That's something you can look up.
Can I don't have my device. Your mobile.
Alright, so that's it. I got eggs, I got water, I got applesauce in place of the vegetable oil. And so all I'm doing now is stirring. If you ever made brownies, you know that it takes a few good strokes there to get everything blended.
Blended in. Gotta write these down.
Alright, what recipe do you all have?
Potluck macaroni and cheese.
Potluck macaroni and cheese. Alright. That just means everybody's bringing something to the event. So a potluck is an event. But just know that you're making macaroni and cheese. Alright. So, just kind of analyzing and looking over that recipe. How many types of cheeses are in it?
Okay.
3 different types of cheese. So just offhand, before we even get started, what do you all think would probably be one thing that could help eliminate some of the saturated fat and cholesterol in there?
One cheese.
Choose one cheese. Because it's probably not necessary to have all 3. It probably tastes good, but you probably don't necessarily need all 3. All right? So you already off to a good start.
I got you. We're going to have to start out. Oh, my bad.
What recipe do you all have?
We have a cheese on the cob.
Cheese on the cob. Okay. So we know we got to keep the corn because it's corn on the cob. However, just kind of looking over there offhand, what are maybe some things that we could do to change that?
So we can use. Can I see that? We can use 3 large eggs. I mean, we can use 3.4. I'm 3 over. What? I don't know how to say it.
You,
3 over 4 right here.
you need eggs?
Eggs. So
It don't look like it.
You don't, does your recipe need eggs? Where's your other copy of your recipe? You the group leader, what's the other copy?
He took it from me.
Don't say it's over here.
I gave it to her. No, he didn't.
I gave.
So you all need to find your other copy.
I gave it to you. No.
I see one copy.
Wait, no, it was right there.
Where it was?
Is it on the floor? Okay.
Is it in your binder? Check your binder.
That's not big.
Yes, what is this?
How bad?
Okay. So now looking at that recipe, we have mayonnaise in it. You have a cup of cheese, shredded Parmesan cheese. What kind of mayonnaise? Light. That's an option for you.
Miracle Whip.
Why Miracle Whip?
Sweet. Because, well, it is healthier.
All right. So you all are making some of those claims. Start at the beginning of your resource, your article there, and then see if there's something to support what you guys are saying. So mayonnaise is a condiment. So maybe you can find that section that's about the condiments and what would be some healthier options in place.
Don't write everything. Everybody needs to pitch in.
Oh, all right. Write down what I need to.
All right. What recipe did you all have?
The cookies. The chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies. Okay. So just kind of glancing over. I know you haven't had time to fully look at their article that you have, but what do you all think could be some changes that you can make to the recipe?
The salt on your oatmeal was the healthy side for salt.
Omit the salt. What does omit mean?
It says salt instead of here is baking soda contains sodium and improves.
Do you have baking soda in it in the recipe?
No, but it says we'll change it over to salt because it has teaspoon of salt.
So it has teaspoon of salt. So what's the healthy option with the salt?
Omit.
What does omit mean? You need to know what that means to do it. Anyone in the group know what omit means?
To not put it in.
To not put it in. Omit means take away. So if I told you to do questions 1 through 20, omit number 19, that means don't do it.
Okay.
So they're telling you to omit salt, but why did they say omit salt?
It's not healthy.
Now what does it say on there?
It says baking soda contains sodium and improves leavening. It says
Leavening. Does your recipe have
salt.
baking soda in it or salt?
Yeah, I got salt.
Does it have baking soda?
Yes.
So you know you can do it. What if your recipe didn't have baking soda in it? Huh? You would need it. But since your recipe does have baking soda, that means you can. That's an option. You can omit the salt because it already has baking soda in it, which they've told you baking soda has salt in it. But you
1 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of regular sugar, 1 cup of butter, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2.5 cups of flour, 1/4 cup of 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 cup of chocolate chips.
okay? So the makeover.
And the makeover, well, our resources came from Nutrient Healthy Eating, the resources like this. And originally it was 1 cup of brown sugar, but since there were 2, I guess, sources of refined sugar, we reduced both of the sugar. So now it's 1/2 a cup of brown sugar and 1/4 cup of regular sugar. And for the butter, it was 1 cup of butter, but we changed it to 1 cup of I can't believe it's not butter.
Mhm.
And we kept the vanilla the same, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and the flour the same, 2.5 cups of flour. And for the eggs, it was 1 egg, and we changed it to, because for the egg makers, it was 1/4 cup of egg makers was equivalent to 1 egg, so we changed it to 1/4 cup of egg makers.
Mhm.
And we took out salt because baking soda has salt in it, so we just took out the salt. And we sold it to 1 tablespoon of baking soda. We just kept it the same. And we reduced the amount of chocolate chips we had to 3/4 chocolate.
Cool. Okay. Good job. Thank you.